Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 111. In this episode, you're going to hear why Mutiat Adebowale is so badass. Did you listen to the last episode of the podcast? Oh my gosh, Mutiat had so many great things to say, so many nuggets of wisdom and stuff that she's learned from her own life that I thought was so valuable. So if you didn't listen to it, go back, check it out, or if you just want to know a little bit about what it was about or some takeaways, listen to this episode, find out why Mutiat is so badass, and then jump back and listen to the other episode. All right, let's jump in. Three things that I thought were so badass about Mutiat was 1, how she differentiated herself from others, 2, how she overcame her belief system, and 3rd, how she found her voice. Okay, let's start off with number 1. Mutiat said to differentiate yourself. Like, she would ask herself, how am I going to differentiate myself? What is my unique quality? Now, here's the thing. We are all human. We're all very much alike. There are a lot of similarities, but there are also differences, right? And we spend so much time trying to fit in, trying to be like everybody else, because we don't want to be the awkward one that stands out. We don't want to be the one that speaks up and everybody looks at us or judges us. And maybe nobody else speaks up with you. But that might not be you, right? Stop trying to hide the good parts of you. Usually the good parts of you, the interesting parts of you, are the parts that we try to keep hidden, right? They're the things that are unique about us. And I know I've said it on this podcast before, but what you're made fun of for as a kid is what makes you cool as an adult, right? I heard that somewhere and I don't know who said it, but I think that there's a lot of truth to it. We have these things that happen to us in childhood, or these labels that get put on us. And so we try to bury it and hide it away so that nobody knows. But kids are just being kids. It doesn't mean that it's wrong for you now or that you shouldn't display that behavior, that personality, because it had nothing to do with you, really. It was about the other person, the other kid, what they were going through. And usually that's what it is anyway. Even in our adult life, when somebody's going through something or they critique us for something, it's all about them. It's about what's going on in their life and what they believe is possible for them. Most of the time, it's not even about you. They're just looking at it through their lenses, right? The lens of their life. So take it from Mutiat, differentiate yourself, find those unique qualities and really dig into those. Make those front and center, right? Do you. I laugh, but it's hard for us to grasp that, to get a hold of that. So now I want to ask you, what is different about you? What are you trying to hide? What's something that's unique to you that you don't see in the people around you? I would urge you to find some way in your life, some way this week, to show that personality trait, to express that. Don't hide it anymore. It's so exhausting hiding. We recently talked to Andy Vargo on the podcast, and he was saying when he was married to his wife and wanted to get a divorce and wanted to come out, he kept worrying that in his sleep he was going to say something, right? It's because we truly don't want to have to suppress things. We don't want to suppress who we are. We do it because we think it's safe, but then it eats us up and you could be worried it'll come out in your sleep, that type of thing. So find a way to express yourself. What's uniquely you, and express that this week. That is your challenge. All right. The second thing that I thought was so badass about Mutiat was how she overcame her belief system and overcame bullying too, really. Mutiat said that she was bullied pretty badly in grade school, and it was hard for her because people were just cruel, or kids were cruel. So she kind of made a promise to herself. She wasn't going to do that anymore. She wasn't going to start speaking up and not really speak in public because she didn't want to be embarrassed. That's what we do, right? We put up these defenses. We put up these walls so that we don't have to deal with the pain. So you don't have to deal with the criticism. That's normal. That's natural. But what I thought was so freaking cool is that she did something about it. Eventually she realized, okay, this is no longer serving me. This isn't working for me. But she could have just kept it as it is because she had been in those same behaviors, the same personality traits for so long. Sometimes it feels like it gets cemented in. But no, she didn't do that. She decided, I'm going to start speaking up and speaking out. So she went to a poetry reading where you had to speak in front of others. And here is what I really loved. She spoke in front of a group of people. She kind of found her power, but she said it was in a safe place. She was around a group of like-minded people. And then all she had was 2 minutes of courage. Oh my gosh, I just really loved that. Oh, to beers, I tell you, find yourself a group of safe, like-minded people. It will take you so far. That is absolutely what I'm trying to create with the Ordinary to Badass Facebook group and just community. A safe group for badasses to connect and talk about our hardships, talk about our wins, be supportive of each other. But Mutiat said how that really helped her and how that pushed her and allowed her to do more of it, right? And then, of course, I absolutely love all you need is 2 minutes of courage. It doesn't have to be some big grandiose thing. Your first step should just be 2 minutes of courage or one teeny tiny step. Don't go take a leap. Just do one teeny tiny thing, like the next best thing. You can do it. I know that you can. You have so much fight and so much grit in you. And sometimes we don't even realize it. We don't know it because we're not testing ourselves. If you don't test yourself, you're not going to know what you're capable of. So what can you do just to push your limits just a little bit, to stretch your boundary just a little bit? Or maybe not boundary, but your comfort zone, right? Do something that just pushes you just slightly over the edge of your comfort zone. Or maybe you've been terrified of public speaking and you just need to sign up for a class. That could take 2 minutes of courage. Signing up for Toastmasters. I'm a huge fan of that. But just take 2 minutes to put yourself in the right situation, right? Put yourself in the right place. It doesn't have to be actually doing the thing, but it could be finding a group of people who are doing the thing. So then you can surround yourself with them and they can help you get the courage you need. They can give you the support. So I absolutely love that. How Mutiat overcame her fear of speaking and overcame the bullying and the hardships that she went through. She overcame a belief system. That can be so hard. We often just keep our belief systems from childhood and we never reflect on them. And we never ask ourselves, is this really serving me? Or is this serving me anymore? It might have been serving you at one point, but if it's no longer serving you, maybe it's time to make a change. All right. The third thing that I thought was so badass was how Mutiat started her podcast. I just absolutely love this. So behind the scenes is she had reached out to me about starting her podcast, and then just like she had a couple questions, but within like an instant, she created it, she did it, she just took action, And I love what her message is. I think it's so important. Mutiat's podcast, her podcast is called You Soulful Genius. And she helps give women permission to be themselves and who they want to be, and really tap into your inner self and do the soul work. Find the soulfulness. She also talks to heroes, people that have to like dust themselves off and then get back in the ring, who are heroes who have had hardships or failures, if you want to view them that way. But they get back up and they get in the ring. But my favorite thing about her podcast is how it cuts across barriers of color, religion, class, gender. It's like, that's not always an easy thing to talk about, right? In a world where everybody feels so different and so torn apart, I think it's so needed to talk about what brings us together. What are our similarities? And I love that she's willing to have those conversations, and she just is on fire. She's going for it. I love it. So how about you? What kind of conversations are you having? What kind of impact are you making? What are you doing to bring people together? The world needs your voice now more than ever. Seriously. Now is your time to step up, to be badass. I cannot talk today. You already are a badass. You already have what it takes. So now it's time to put yourself out there, to do the thing that you've always wanted to do, to start having tough conversations, start bringing people together. Find your support people, right? Or help other people find theirs. So just a quick recap, why Mutiat Adebowale is so badass. Mutiat overcame her belief system. She differentiated herself from others and really celebrated what was unique about her. And also starting her podcast was freaking amazing and has a message that's like powerful and bringing people together. All right. You know this, but I'm gonna say it again because I think it's so stinking important. If you like this episode, reach out to Mutiat and myself on Instagram. I'll throw our handles in the podcast notes as well as the show notes. And take a screenshot of the episode and tell us what you learned. What did you think was so badass about Mutiat? What is a takeaway you have or something you learned from what she said? Maybe you implemented something. It takes a lot of courage to kind of share your vulnerable moments, share your hardships, and then hear crickets, right? Because that's what happens to a lot of people, is you don't hear back what somebody that was listening took from it. So it's really important that we do this, that we give people feedback on what we learned from them. Believe me, one badass supports another, and that goes a long way. We don't know what support for each other, what that does and what that means and what that can push somebody onto. So as I'm always saying, please reach out, tell her what your takeaways were from the episode, what you learned, what you thought was badass. It's so amazing to get feedback, and I want to hear about it. I know that Mutiat wants to hear about it, because you're a badass. You're accomplishing badass things. You're learning things from mentors, learning things from people around you, and implementing those things. So make sure to share, right? All right. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you on Monday, where you will hear from Dawn Upwan, and you're not going to want to miss that. She is a pastor who is fired from her church and then went on to start her own business, and very quickly got a 6-figure business, and is headed to 7 figures. She's so badass. You're going to want to hear her story. With that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.